Gyeongseong Creature Episode 6 starts with a flashback. A young Taesang is forced to hide inside his house while his mother is beaten for information on the heroic Corps. She tells him he must stay alive, explaining Taesang's determination to survive. Before leaving him, Chaeok made Taesang promise to help the innocent prisoners escape. But when he gets there, the place is empty. They are trying to escape, led by In Hyuk, but they're confronted by soldiers. Luckily, Taesang comes to their rescue in time. In his office, Kato explains to Chaeok how the tiny worm takes over a human's brain and turns them into an apex predator. He shows her the worm in the cup, which means Chaeok never drank the water. At the same time, the monster comes upon the escaping prisoners and even grabs one of them. Taesang shoots at the creature and then makes a tank of nitrogen blow up, which makes the creature pass out. The anthrax spores begin to float around it once again. Chaeok finally realizes that her mother, Seishin, is the monster. In the city, Juntake's father visits Ishikawa and asks him to look into the women who have been disappearing into Onsam Hospital. Ishikawa says the police can't butt into the military's affairs, but he hesitates when the latter mentions Taesang is in there. Manager Gu is speaking with Nawal, who scares him by talking about the Japanese's torture techniques. She was once treated that way, as a flashback shows guards leaving her out in the snow, all bloodied up. That's where a young Taesang, also living on the street, found her and gave her food. He asks if she's heard about his mother Sim Sundok, who is also inside, but she hasn't. At present, Taesang asks In Hyuk why he didn't wait as instructed. In Hyuk makes it clear that Taesang has always been a fence-sitter and couldn't be trusted. Meanwhile, Juntake has written 2 pages worth of names on the paper in front of him and the Japanese officer asks him for more. Taesang and group are soon joined by Jungwon. He asks about Chaeok, who is currently unable to believe that her mother is that creature down there. Kato goes so far as to offer Chaeok the glass of water so she can evolve as well. She puts a gun to Kato's head and demands to know how the monster can be stopped. Taesang tells Jungwon to take the prisoners and hide in an empty ward in the hospital until they can leave. He plans to get Chaeok and meet them there. They go their separate ways. Director Ichiro is fuming about the escaped prisoners and takes it out on the Japanese officer who made a deal with Taesang. Both Ichiro and Kato learn that soldiers are dying of the anthrax infection. Moreover, Commissioner Ishikawa has arrived to investigate the case of the missing women. Chaeok wears a soldier's uniform and pushes Kato down a passage at gunpoint. Other soldiers arrive and ask Kato for permission to kill the creature. He says the only way to do it is through fire and asks Chaeok if she can do that to her own mother, blowing Chaeok's cover. Someone hits her from behind. Lady Maeda gets a message from a man named Mr. Shio. It says the rescue mission for Akiko, that is Myeongja, has begun. Elsewhere, Nawal passes a message to the tailor. It passes through multiple hands and reaches the man who supplied Taesang with the fireworks. Myeongja, who was sleeping in her cell, is woken by someone opening her cell doors. Ishikawa arrives at the hospital, telling Ichiro that missing civilians allow him to investigate the premises. Ichiro sends orders to move the girl. We then see that one of the truck drivers who came in with Ishikawa is none other than Manager Gu. Chaeok wakes up to find herself chained to the middle of a floor. At one end of the room is a large group of soldiers wearing hazmat suits, with guns pointed at her. From somewhere above, Kato is watching. He says Seishin will show up soon. They're pushing it towards her using nitrogen. Taesang sees the unclothed soldier in Kato's office and then hears the roar of the monster. He follows until he sees Kato and his soldiers watching from above. The Korean soldier notices Taesang and makes a comment that alerts Taesang to the situation. The creature walks up to Chaeok and the latter spots the wooden necklace. The tentacles shoot out towards Chaeok but suddenly stop as Chaeok calls out to her mother. Seishin remembers. Kato orders the soldiers to shoot and Seishin creates a shield around Chaeyoke. She breaks the chain and throws Chaeyoke aside, out of harm. Chaeyoke watches Seishin succumb to the nitrogen and Taesang pulls her away. She struggles against him and reveals that her mother was turned into the monster. She cries and asks Taesang to help her. Kato wonders how Seishin's maternal instinct could overcome that of the Nijin, the worm. He orders his people to kill Chaeyoke. Hiding inside a vent, Taesang offers Chaeyoke a caramel chocolate as well as some words of comfort. He says they should leave and come back with a plan. Meanwhile, Juntaek has written even more names and is exhausted from the lack of food and water. The soldiers untie him and put a mask on his head. Manager Gu parks his car to the side of the hospital's premises. A guard catches him, but Gu tempts him with some alcohol. The senior officer named Sergeant Haneda carries out a search for Chaeyoke. They find two soldiers in their underwear and realize the intruders are disguised as soldiers. Chaeyoke, Taesang, and the Korean soldier make their way to the empty ward where Jungwon is hiding with the prisoners. A surprise appearance comes from the Japanese soldier Taesang made a deal with, who brings Myongja along with him. Somewhere in the city, the restaurant owner who helped Taesang, Na Youngchun, sets up a gramophone with a microphone placed near it. Taesang tells the others the plan, emphasizing that they will have 10 minutes to get into the truck and no more. At sharp 6 o'clock, music starts playing at the end of Gyeongseong Creature Episode 6. The episode review. What an episode! Gyeongseong Creature is still a gripping show even past the halfway mark. The script doesn't waste any time and sticks to what is important, whether it is key explanatory scenes or scintillating conversations like the one about Taesang being a good person. With more backstory regarding his character and connection with Nawal, Taesang's drive to survive is much clearer, as is his intrinsic desire to help others. However, the highlight of Gyeongseong Creature Episode 6 is definitely Chaeyoke. Han So-hee gives a fantastic performance as Chaeyoke comes to terms with her mother's situation and then finally comes face to face with her. Both recognize the other this time, and the way Seishin protects Chaeyoke has been executed brilliantly. The entire sequence is an emotional gut punch. Now, everybody is in one place and their escape hinges on Taesang's plan. With so many moving pieces, from Manager Gu to the gramophone sitting in the middle of the street, I am expecting a delightfully exciting escape.